Zambia, a nation with forest cover estimated at 45.9 million hectares, representing about 60.04% of the total land area. Although deforestation rates are estimated at 276,000 hectares per year, Zambia is a nation with forest cover estimated at 45.9 million hectares of land area covered with forests. The Center for Environment Justice, CEJ, is among the 3 organizations in Zambia to scoop the Global Innovations Award run by the United States government. CEJ's Stop the Chop initiative is to be implemented in Mafinga District, Muchinga Province, and was among the 3 initiatives that were awarded. Earlier this year, the Department of State of the United States government hosted its 12th annual Alumni Engagement Innovation Fund, AIF, which supported the U.S. government exchanges program alumni activities to promote shared values and innovative solutions to global challenges. Out of 500 applications submitted for the AIF global participation, the Stop the Chop initiative by CEJ stood out among the 73 that were awarded worldwide. CEJ Executive Director Maggie Mwape, who is also a 2019 Mandela Washington Fellow, carried her phenomenal vision behind putting together a compelling proposal and representing Zambia on a global scale. The goal of the Stop the Chop campaign is to address deforestation and degradation as well as illegal and unsustainable harvest of timber in Mafinga district of Zambia. The initiative will also raise awareness about sustainable environmental management and engaging traditional leaders, community members, as well as other stakeholders. The Stop the Chop campaign will bring together strategic key stakeholders such as government, civil society organizations, youth, women, and people living with disabilities. The campaign will identify riverbanks where people are cutting trees to examine how best trees in the affected areas can be conserved. CEJ shall conduct a stakeholders mapping exercise accompanied by multi-stakeholder engagements in the catchment area of the project site in Mafinga District, Muchinga Province. CEJ shall mobilize the civil society organizations, government, the youth, women groups, the farmers, mining firms, and the charcoal associations as they are key in the process. This initiative shall hold a community caucus discussion targeting 6 wards, namely Tendere, Mafinga, Kalanga, Kakoma, Mukutu, and Ntonga. The project would further accommodate a traditional leaders' caucus on ending deforestation and degradation, especially that over 60% of land in Zambia is under customary tenure. The Stop the Chop campaign will further target women and girls as they are the most vulnerable to climate change impacts. CEJ believes that young people are key stakeholders in ending deforestation, identifying sustainable alternative livelihoods, and the creation of novel innovations aimed at providing alternative sources of energy. CEJ held the Youth Forest Indaba on the 26th September 2022 at the Mulungushi International Conference Center in Lusaka, accommodating over 100 youths. The Youth Forest Indaba was held under the theme Youth Building a Resilient Future with Forests. The Ministry of Green Economy and Environment Permanent Secretary Engineer John Musumoko was represented by Director of Green Economy and Climate Ephraim Mwepia Shitima.
The benefits of an environmentally secure planet are accrued to all of us, the present and future generations, including you, the youth, who are here today for you to flourish. The Youth Forest Indaba being held today will help bring a sense of conservation in the youth across the country. As the member saying goes, meaning that the youth of today are the future leaders, but I believe you are already leaders. Therefore, I would like to implore all the youth representatives present here today to seriously reflect on how you can contribute to sustainable forest management for the country to continue sustaining the forest resource space which the country is endowed with.
Center for Environment Justice Executive Director Magi Mwape was happy that the Youth Forest Indaba was successful.
One of the barriers that young people are facing today is that we do not have targeted incentives for young people to go into conservation efforts. We are therefore calling for action to change this barrier and request government that they create opportunities for carbon credit projects to be led by young people, and it requires national investments to lift this barrier.
Center for Environment Justice Youth Environmental Defenders representative Karen Walia was on hand to encourage her fellow youths to join efforts in promoting sustainable forest management.
The efforts of deforestation are immense, and we, the youth, remain at the center of environmental protection. Even as we are at the precipice of a total climate crisis, we, the youth, still hold the greatest potential to turn the situation around.
The U.S. Embassy Cultural Affairs Specialist Austin Ngoma reaffirmed the U.S. government commitment to environmental protection and the need to support other countries such as Zambia.
Out of over 500 applications submitted for the global competition, the Stop the Chop project stood out as among 73 other awardees globally, and this is one of only 3 projects that the U.S. government has funded here in Zambia. So we can see, of course, that this indeed is a serious project.
The Worldwide Fund for Nature Zambia Country Office Wildlife Programs Manager Moses Nyarenda gave his perspective.
We believe that the youth are the reservoir of key innovative solutions for today and for tomorrow. And I was very happy to learn from the introduction session that we have youths that have come from all over the country representing all the 10 provinces. And I would like to urge you that this opportunity that you have been given to travel to Lusaka for this important meeting, you must make sure that you utilize it to the fullest.
As the moderator for the Youth Forest Indaba, CEJ's Head of Research and Studies, Freeman Mobanga, gave his remarks.
You see, in the Glasgow Leaders Declaration, bullet number 3 is what is actually going to make it even become effective. We can agree on whatsoever solutions here, but as long as human livelihoods are not settled, people will still be using the forest in the same way they've always been using. Why? Because they have alternative livelihoods and they want to survive. So the major key, the commitment of these governments that signed is that they are going to improve rural livelihoods.
The Youth Forest Indaba demonstrated how young people are so passionate about environmental protection and climate action in Zambia. As the next generation of environmental defenders, change-makers, activists and global leaders, the youth present at the Indaba gave their feedback.
We have to also improve our research. We need to ensure that our research around climate change is based on local context. It really doesn't make sense for me that we should still refer to melting of icebergs as an effect of climate change when they're in Zambia. Is that realistic? Not at all. So those are some of the things that we need to look into when it comes to education.
If the government saw the need to recruit 10,000 teachers, if the government saw the need to recruit 11,000 health workers, indeed, even in the environment, the forests out there are dying. They should do something and actually recruit more staff so that they can actually carry out their mandates efficiently.
Aside from providing sensitization, how can we encourage alternatives that meet our sensitization, that will still be in line with what the people want to do and their source of income? So our point or second point on sensitization or education is to make it more local friendly, is to make it more community friendly, is to make it more provincial friendly, because there are different aspects that every tribe, we can learn from in terms of the farming system and reforestation, which is something that has not really been tapped into as much.
I think it's important for you when we are selecting individuals to select individuals who actually are so dedicated or who dedicate themselves to recover our ecosystems and our society as a whole. So that political pressure is so important, and we think as young people it's so important again to be actively involved in those kind of things. Put the pressure on your politicians, the new non-government, put pressure on them as young people. Let them accountable. They should know that young people are very tired of suffering. You know, we are tired, man. We are tired. So we want the society to be better. So these are the things that we should do. So things like reframing some of these policies to encapsulate everybody within society is so very much important. And whatever energy that you are using.
The youth at the Indaba took a conscious step towards ending forest loss and investing in a resilient future in which ecosystem restoration and protection is an integral part of the development agenda. Environmental activist, legal counsel Makwete Sishekano was candid to the emerging youth activists on binding and non-binding legal issues in the environment sector.
If your innovation has to be adopted, show us the problem that it is going to solve. You will see how it will be adopted without a problem. So most of you will say, here is the technology, but you're not showing us what is the technology going to solve.
The Center for Environment Justice board member Boniface Mumba recognized the tenacity of the youths and gave his remarks on behalf of the board.
It's important that you know your power, that you host as young people. How can you mention about the president there? He's there because young people decided. You know that? Are you aware of that? Yes. So you've got the power to direct the policy direction, to influence government. That if you don't put this conversation in your manifesto as a political party, if you don't put this conversation in your government priorities, we're not going to be part of it. We're not going to give you the political chance. This is about political conversation as well, isn't it? When you talk about policy and everything. So the power that you host as young people, you need to leverage it. You need to take host of it. But I liked what Freeman said. You cannot do anything. You know, sometimes government, when they hear activists and they hear you don't have information, they'll just look at you that it's just loud, but it's empty, isn't it? Equip yourself, build yourself, and prepare for the journey.
The Youth Environmental Defenders is a national program launched on the 14th of January 2022 by the Center for Environment Justice. The program is aimed at amplifying youth voices in environmental and climate justice, implementing action-oriented initiatives, lobby and advocacy, capacity building, mentorship, and mobilizing youth and children as environmental defenders across the country. CEJ now plans for a ministerial dialogue as it is important for government to update stakeholders on the November 12, 2021 Glasgow Leaders Declaration to end deforestation by the year 2030. The Stop the Chop campaign will be of benefits to Zambia and civil society organizations in understanding the importance of stopping deforestation while promoting and protecting the interests and livelihoods of communities that depend on the forests. The Stop the Chop campaign shall equally support a documentary to exemplify how cutting of trees on riverbanks have affected the Mafinga and Luangwa rivers. As a source of income, food security and energy, forests in Zambia have become endangered. Particularly, important trees like the Miyombo, Mokula and Mubanga, among others, have been overly exploited for various economic gains. The most desirable action is to strengthen the identification of sustainable alternative livelihoods and stop the chop. CEJ, our environment, our responsibility.